Laurie Huston's News for the Heart is dedicated to helping you give a voice to your own soul. Our hearts have the power to free us from pain and the struggles that keep us from awakening to our true essence. Join Laurie now as we delve into our heart and soul to find the path that will open us to the possibilities and lead us to the life we love to live.
Good afternoon. This is News for the Heart. Today I have Nancy Arruda. Now, I'm going to apologize in advance because we may be a little bit giggly. We usually were very giggly, but we actually haven't done a show in like 9 months.
It's been a long time.
Well, since December. So
Yes.
actually we're in like the 10th month. So it's been a little while, and we're excited about it.
We are.
Poor Nancy hasn't done a live show, though, or a live video.
TV, yes. Video.
So bear with us, but I think this is going to be a fun show. We're going to talk about what's up in the universal sky, and I also had some questions about progress and transits and
natal charts and
natal charts and how it's all different. But yeah, so we're going to look at that and to talk. But let's talk about the first thing that comes up, which is equinox. Not solstice.
Fall
I was
equinox.
about to say
right. Autumn
solstice.
Equinox, actually.
There you go.
It's not the fall. Well, it is
not
the fall. It's the fall. It's autumn. The season is autumn.
Yeah, because okay, so somebody I know, a client, they got their car winterized yesterday and was like, but it's still summer. Like, I know it's bad here in Toronto, but it's still summer.
It's not that bad.
It's actually quite nice out today. And so that made me, like, holy crap.
Yeah, no. Well, I'm still on my winter tires from last winter.
Okay, well, that's sad. But, so you really beat the season then.
I'm ahead of the game.
You're very ahead of the game.
It's not good for the tires.
I was going to say, probably not.
No.
But,
yeah. What marks the equinoxes and the solstice is when the sun moves to 0 degrees of any cardinal sign.
Oh.
Okay, so the sun is moving to 0 degrees of Libra on September 22nd at 10:29 p.m. So that will mark the fall equinox.
Okay.
And a lot of times when we look at the fall equinox, because it's always the sign of Libra, okay, and it pulls in 3 astrological signs, so it'll be Libra, Libra, Scorpio, and Sagittarius are the 3 sun signs of the fall. And when we look at Libra and Scorpio, there's a lot of energy around relationships. So Libra's all about relationships and balance. Yes. And Scorpio's all about relationships as well, but on a more intimate or a deep level. And then Sagittarius, but Scorpio also is about transformation and transforming who we are on that deep level. And then Sagittarius is really about exploring. Okay, so you can explore yourself. Yeah, it's a search for the truth.
Right.
So when we're in the sign of Sagittarius, we're searching for the truth. And after doing all the relationship work in Libra and Scorpio, it's a good time to look at the truth, right?
There you go.
Yes. So, but this particular equinox, we're strengthening bonds within our relationships. So it's really about focusing on healing relationships this year. Okay, so we always pull in the relationship theme, but this one's around healing and holding on to those relationships that we value.
And why is it about healing? Because
there's just a lot of energy at play that speaks to the healing dynamic, and what do we need to hold on to and what do we need to let go of, right? Which happens every fall.
Right.
But it's just what I noticed.
Yeah, okay. No, it's intuitively that you're picking up.
Yeah, on the healing vibration. Actually, if I look at the chart, it has to do with the sun conjunct Venus on that day. So the sun will be conjuncting Venus as well as the moon conjuncting Venus. So, and the only other energy with the sun is the sun semi-square Jupiter, which is really about watching out for the ego. Okay, so there's been a lot of ego energy going on since the summertime.
Right.
And people dealing with their ego issues are becoming very, very predominant.
Yeah.
Those
I've noticed. Even myself, I've noticed.
Yeah. Oh yeah, everybody.
Yeah.
It actually goes back to before the summer in some outer planets when they stationed retrograde. And I'll get to the dates when we get to the directs.
Okay.
And when the planet stationed retrograde, there was this kind of like spiritual disconnect that happened. So it's like we were pulling away from our divine consciousness and our divine center. And we would like to think that in a year of high spiritual energy, okay,
Right.
so 2014, 4 plus 1 plus 2 is 7.
Right.
So it's a high spiritual vibration this year, where we're looking at spiritual growth. You would think in a year of spiritual growth, it would be more about connecting with our spirit, connecting with our higher self and our higher consciousness. But what's happened this year is there's been a disconnect from the higher self and the higher consciousness. And it's like we're being forced into ego consciousness so that we can heal whatever it is we need to heal within our own journeys. Right? And I think it's happening to a lot of people who do spiritual work. Okay, so it's not just me. I've been through it, right? You're having some ego issues too. Everybody is, right?
Yeah.
But it's with a lot of people.
Right.
So we're all kind of going through it.
Right.
Make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay. So as we continue to work with our ego, okay, because we're here to be human beings. We're not here to be spiritual beings. We're incarnated in life to grow and evolve as a human being. So, and that's my belief. It doesn't have to be yours. But anyways, so through that, as our ego comes out, we interact with other people and potentially have huge ego influences within our relationships. Right. So those are what we're focusing on healing. On September 22nd, 2014, Pluto stations direct at 10 degrees Capricorn, 59 minutes. And I completely forgot to write down when he went retrograde. That's probably the only one I didn't do.
Which one?
Pluto stations direct on September 20th. Yeah, it was. I want to say April, but I could be wrong.
I'm going to say I think it's probably April.
I can look in my ephemeris.
We can do it after break.
Okay. So, yes, I'll get the date. And here, with this particular Pluto retrograde, it goes retrograde once a year. Yeah. And it's for a long time. The outer planet. Yeah, it's an outer planet. And it's more about evolution. So Pluto's all about the evolution of the soul. And here we are figuring out what has permanent value in our lives and what doesn't. So that was the whole purpose of this Pluto retrograde, right? What has value, and let go of what doesn't have value. So we're given the opportunity to, as of September 22nd moving forward, to let go of what no longer has value. On September 25th, there's a new aspect coming in, and I'm very excited about this one. It is Jupiter trine Uranus. And here, Jupiter and Uranus they're harmoniously interacting with one another, right? Which is a good thing. Right. We've gone through a lot of hard energies over this year, so it's nice to have something that's going to give us a little push forward. And with this particular one, this is the first hit, which is on September 25th. There is a vibration of this, so the vibration's August 26th to October 26th. Okay, we're feeling the energy. It's very beneficial. It's a lucky kind of windfall energy, right? Nice. It's about expanding our mind, expanding our consciousness. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, it is a whole month. Well, it comes back again in January.
Oh, nice.
But when we get to January, I'll let you know the dates. So it is like it's about personal advancement. So it's about moving forward in life. So if you've been feeling stuck because there's a lot of energy that's kind of like holding you back, this is like the little boost that we get to move forward.
And that happens on the 25th.
The 25th is the exact hit. Nice. So, but we're already in the vibe. We've been in the vibe since August 26th.
Oh, okay.
Right. And it's really like when I look at the Sabian symbols, which is the degrees in the zodiac and what each degree means, and I put the 2 degrees together because it's 14 degrees of Aries and 14 degrees of Leo, we're demonstrating the fulfillment of our desires. So whatever it is we're desiring at a heart level, we're actually living it or demonstrating it and moving forward with it. So great time to identify with new truths. Okay, right. So learning new truths as well as teaching those, right? And about broadening yourself and your ideas and expanding the mind and looking for new open doorways.
Nice.
So really looking forward, like I'm enjoying that energy now, right? Looking forward to it again in the new year because it's with us for a while.
Nice, nice.
So.
Nice. So a good thing to look forward to. Well, it's happening anyways. We're in it.
Right. We are in it. Cool. October.
October.
So I'm not picking up on every possible energy, just the ones
Don't
that
we
are.
have like eclipses or something?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
Plus we have like that M word.
Yeah, the bad M word.
So it's like
Mercury Retrograde.
It seems like it's going to be one of those months that
October is not a month that I'm really looking forward to.
Even though we do have the Jupiter trine Uranus.
Yes, it's still there, so remember that, right?
Right. So when you're feeling really bad.
So we will start with Mercury stationing retrograde on October 4th, 2014. It retrogrades at 2 degrees of Scorpio, 18 minutes. It will station direct October 25th, 2014 at 16 degrees Libra, 45 minutes. Starts in a water sign, retrogrades back into an air sign. So here we're really looking at how we need to transform our feelings, okay, into healthier thoughts, okay. When I look at, it's about our connection to other people and our consciousness and how we can alter our thought process so that we can raise our vibration. And that's the purpose of this retrograde. So you may find things that go wrong pull you down a notch, pull you into a lower vibration. It's not about being stuck in that vibration. It's about raising your vibration, about pulling it higher. Okay?
So it's not going to be in Libra for very long, which is all about relationships. It's mostly going to be in, what'd you say, Scorpio?
No, it's going to be mostly in Libra.
Right.
Because it retrogrades at 2 degrees of Scorpio.
Right.
Yeah. Transformation as well. So changing how you communicate.
Right.
Okay. With others. It's also about listening to your mind. Okay. So paying attention to the voices in your mind, the thoughts that you have on a daily level, listening to the noise in your mind. Like really pay attention to the repetitive noise. And it's through listening to that noise that you will break through or break free of whatever is holding you back in life. Okay? So you have this huge opportunity to identify with the noise in your mind that's holding you back in life. Right? Because we're still like riding the wave of that Jupiter trine Uranus until October 26th.
Right.
So there's the potential to get a lot of opportunities from this.
Right.
So to move forward. Not really looking forward to the Mercury retrograde, but it's not so much the Mercury retrograde that worries me, it's the eclipses. That are happening.
Why did I think that might be the case?
2 eclipses in the middle of the retrograde.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like it sounds like it's a bit ominous.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like of all, yeah.
So remember, when Mercury is retrograde, he's a trickster.
Yeah.
Okay? There's miscommunication.
Yeah.
So be prepared for that miscommunication, because I don't think there's any avoiding it.
Right.
On October the 8th. I'm not too happy about this.
I can tell. It's almost painful.
Trying to make it sound really good, but it's not working.
It's almost painful.
All right. We'll move out of the pain very soon, hopefully. It is the lunar eclipse, and that transpires at 15 degrees of Aries. So the
lunar is the full moon.
Full moon eclipse. Yeah. So the sun and the moon are opposite each other. Right. And when I look at the Sabian symbol for 16 degrees of Aquarius, it's speaking to opening up the mind and embracing life in a holistic, non-rational, and intuitive manner.
You're saying it's in Aquarius?
Sorry, Aries.
Okay, because I was thinking,
Aries.
Already?
No.
Okay,
yeah.
Aries.
So it's about opening the mind, okay, and not being rational.
Really?
It's about being intuitive.
Oh,
Yes. But here we are being intuitive in the middle of a Mercury retrograde. Okay, so there's going to be some misinterpretations.
Not only, it's not really the middle, it's the beginning, which is probably
more intense.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is. It's only 4 days into the retrograde, so it's still pretty station, right?
Yeah.
So there's going to be some misinterpretation of our intuitive messages, right? And like eclipses are all about letting go. Lunar eclipses have a bigger impact of what it is we need to let go of. So you really need to look at where Aries is in your
eclipse, right? Yeah.
You need to look at where Aries is in your natal chart.
Oh, right.
to see how it's going to impact you on a more personal level.
So again, so then that gets me to, I mean, I know that Aries is in my 10th. I know that Jupiter is in Aries in my 10th house, but I don't know specifically where
What
this
degree is.
right?
Yeah.
So it matters not just.
This is kind of like right in the middle of the sign.
Okay, so it's probably hitting
Your
so what's that
Jupiter
gonna
on some
say?
level.
So it's hitting my Jupiter in my 10th house, which is all about honors and career.
Yep.
So what does that mean?
Growth and expansion within career.
Oh, so that's a good sign.
It could be,
Okay.
but it may be awakening.
Well, Uranus isn't in there, right?
It's awakening what you need to let go of.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
It's about tuning into the invisible forces of nature,
Okay.
right? Which are those unrealistic viewpoints.
Right.
Okay? So it's not about realism, it's about unrealistic viewpoints.
Okay.
Right? We're supposed to somehow let go of realism on some level and embrace intuitive and non-realism.
So where is it on your chart?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Eighth
sorry.
house.
Oh, 8th house. So what is that? 8th house is other people's money.
Yeah.
It's kind of sucky.
It's the government. It's other people's money, insurances,
Right.
and sexual partners.
Oh, so that's where you're going to see it.
Possibly. In one of those areas.
Yeah. I'm thinking with the latter.
With that particular eclipse, the sun is at 16 degrees of Libra, so it's showing us where balance is required on this path of intuitive understanding. When one awakens to the intuition, it takes time to repair any damage that your intuitive receptors interact with your logical receptors. Does that make sense at all?
Say it again.
Okay. So whenever somebody starts embracing their intuition,
Yes.
okay, it creates a lot of chaos in life.
Okay.
Okay, because you're going against the grain, you're going against what
Logic.
you know to be true, right? And you're following an emotion which isn't necessarily true or hasn't been proven true.
Okay.
Okay, so and a lot of times when people do that,
We do
there's
need to go
these
on a break soon, so maybe finish.
yeah,
up
there's
with
these
that.
little tests
Okay.
that happen as we honor our intuition.
Okay.
Sometimes we like the outcome, sometimes we don't.
Yes.
Okay, so this is about finding the balance between what you like in terms of following your intuition and what you don't like.
Okay. Okay. And with that, we're going to go to break. You
Okay.
are listening to News for the Heart. I have Nancy Arruda. You can find out more about Nancy if you go to her website, universalsky.com. And we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Laurie Huston, and I have a great show on bmajor.org called News for the Heart. I'm an intuitive counselor, coach, and teacher with professional qualifications and certifications, as well as natural, clairsentient, and claircognizant abilities. I've been on my spiritual path for over 20 years, and during that time have acquired through extensive studies, teachings, and sacred texts over 30 different healing modalities, which are continuously being added to, as life is an ongoing journey. My passion is on relationships, limiting beliefs, energy that is blocking you, and awakening consciousness as we become more heart-centered. You can find out more about me at my website, intuitivesoul.com, or call me at my toll-free number, 1-855-444-SOUL. That's 1-855-444-7685. And I'd be honored to connect with you. Let's get to the heart of what matters. Do you want to become more empowered, connected with your core, guided by your heart and soul's purpose, be more balanced and have more mindfulness? Are you searching for the answers, wanting to understand your relationships better, why your intimate relationships, friends, family, and even work colleagues can impact your quality of life? How your relationships interfere with your business, career opportunities, and even starting your own business? I'm Laurie Huston. I have a free weekly advice column with bmajor.org called Heart Lessons. Our hearts have the power to free us from pain and the struggle that keep us from awakening to our true essence. You can send me your questions, or for more personal guidance, contact me at intuitivesoul.com or call me at my toll-free number, 1-855-444-SOUL. That's 1-855-444-7685. And let's get to the heart of what matters to see your heart lessons.
Want to know where you can hear Laurie Huston's News for the Heart? Well, that's easy. You can tune in to Laurie via Clear Channel's iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Blog Talk Radio, iTunes, and at bmajor.org. Now, back to Laurie Huston and News from the Heart.
And welcome back. This is News for the Heart. We are getting to the heart of what matters. We're talking about what's up in the universal sky. We haven't had Nancy here for a while, so we're going to get caught up. And hopefully we won't be quite as long next time to get you back into the studio to do some more shows. So we left off with the lunar eclipse, and
Yes.
I think now we're going to talk about the solar eclipse. Oh, we did also want to mention about Pluto when it went retrograde.
It went retrograde April 14th.
Now Pluto is a very slow-moving
Yeah.
planet, so
Yeah.
it's not like it moved anywhere.
No, it probably moved 4 or 5 degrees. That's typically what it does in a retrograde. All right,
Okay.
it goes back 4 or 5 degrees.
I know it's in the sixth house, which is supposed to be a good thing for me, but
Transformation within your day-to-day
well, it's in my sixth house too, which is all about health.
health. Yep.
Yeah, but it's been
Did
in
it
my.
just move into your sixth?
Oh God, no!
No,
It's been there for a long
while.
time. Yeah.
I was gonna say.
So I'm thinking maybe the beginning of it was bringing up all the things that I had not seen,
Yes.
to transform.
Yep.
And before it
Excuse me?
leaves, I will make sure that I've transformed that. I'm hoping.
Right.
That's my belief. I'm going to stick with it.
Sorry.
Of course, I'm also in my Chiron returner. I might hopefully be done that soon because you said I was in it like 2 years ago. So
I would have to see your chart.
yeah, whatever. I'll pull it up later. All right.
All right. So solar eclipse,
Solar eclipse.
which isn't as intense as the lunar eclipse, which is a good thing.
Right. It's a very good thing.
Yes, and it goes retrograde.
Because
Oh,
it'll be
sorry.
at the
It goes
la-
retrograde.
It goes.
Yeah.
It's in the last end of the
It's
retrograde.
right, because the retrograde, I'm just trying to look back at my notes
25th?
here, is done on the 25th. This is the solar eclipse on the 23rd, when Mercury will be stationed as well. Right? So we're going to feel it. With this particular one, it happens at 0 degrees of Scorpio, 24 minutes. So it is all
Oh,
about
wow.
letting go. Right?
It doesn't happen often that it's at such a beginning stage.
Right.
Of
And the other
and
little
that's important.
the other little thing is Venus is also conjunct the eclipse. So we have Venus, the Sun, and the Moon all at 0 degrees of Scorpio.
Oh dear.
Yes. So huge letting go of relationships.
Wow.
Okay. Or transforming them at a very deep, intense level.
Wow.
Okay. So it's truly about widening our experience and what we need to let go of within
Right.
some relationships, what we need to transform within other relationships. Opportunity for huge amounts of healing during this solar eclipse. Okay. But again, in terms of emotional intensity, I think the lunar eclipse is going to be more emotional than the solar eclipse.
Okay.
Right. So, and it's also about really connecting with people on an intimate level. So that doesn't necessarily mean sexually, although it can be, okay?
Okay.
But it's about having that deep, intimate connection with individuals and the awareness, okay? And the new sense of awareness that you'll receive within that new connection with yourself as well. So it's, yeah. Another thing that this can affect is also home renovations, with Venus being so intertwined. So if anybody is renovating, okay, you can experience, there may be some points of stress, okay, some things that you need to let go of in terms of, a lot of times once you take down the drywall, you never know what's behind the walls.
So be careful if you do. Well, you shouldn't be doing renovations during
in October at all.
Or-
avoid October.
Mercury retrograde was what I was going to say, but okay.
The whole month of October. Don't do
Just-
it. If that's a choice. If you started in September, you don't really have a choice.
No.
It will continue.
I guess that's probably when my neighbors are going to do some renovations because they seem to have that luck.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else? The moon will be sextile Mars, so there's strong attraction energy at play. Okay. The potential to meet somebody at a very deep, deep level.
When?
Okay. October 23rd at, I didn't put the time down. It's with me on my notes. See, this is what happens when you research a retrograde time period. It's like you get sucked into the retrograde vortex. So we can pretend.
Oh, interesting.
All right, and that's it for October. Thank goodness.
But I think that's more than enough.
Yes.
It sounds like October could be slightly heavy.
Yeah, or it can be light because it's a letting go month.
Okay.
So it's
It's
all
just
about...
interesting because last night I woke up in the middle of the night with a realization about I just haven't been feeling safe. So entering into a relationship just hasn't been working for me because I haven't felt safe for a long time. I would say part of it happened 5 years ago, part of it happened with that fraud,
Yeah.
and I just haven't
Part of
felt
it might be intuitive for what's coming in January.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well,
Are we going to get
we
to
will
January?
discuss January.
Shoot.
I now have to power speak through November and December. No, I'm kidding. November.
November.
Okay. But, okay, so let's go back to October for a minute because I said when you take a look at your natal planets.
Right.
Okay. So take a look at, your natal chart, which is your birth chart based on the time and space that you're born.
Mm-hmm.
And, wherever those degrees are, like Scorpio and Libra, like all that energy where it's transpiring in your own natal chart. And then you can also look at your progress chart.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I know you wanted some clarity around progress charts.
Well, it's confusing because, where do you look now? Do you look...
Both.
Most people... Okay.
Okay.
Because most people look at the natal chart and then look at the transits where planets are transiting in your natal chart.
Yes.
The progressed is completely different.
It is different. So for every year that you have been born, your natal planets and your natal chart progresses 1 day forward.
And is 30 days, does it go into a new chart? Yes, because there's 12 houses. So every 30, so...
Houses don't necessarily follow 30 degrees.
Right.
Signs follow 30 degrees. So depending on the space that you're born, because if you moved, then that will alter your house locations as well, where the signs and houses are.
Oh.
If you stay in the same place, then you'll just notice a gradual progression, almost 1 degree every year. Okay, for each house. Give
I'm
or
in
take.
the same place, so...
Yeah. If you move like from the East Coast to the West Coast, you're going to
change.
notice a huge shift in your planetary houses. Right?
So in the houses, so in the progressed, not the
yes,
natal.
in the progressed. Natal always remains the same. Progressed is where you relocate to. It's the age that you're at right now.
Right.
So it's your evolution chart. It's where you've evolved to. And I look at them. Some people don't believe in them at all.
Yes.
Okay. Some astrologers have no time for progression. They believe it's a totally makey-uppy system. Right? Makey-uppy.
And that is
I don't
definitely
know if that's,
pure English.
That's a me word. That came out of my dictionary. Okay, now I'm lost. What was I saying? Throw me for a loop. Okay. So yeah, some astrologers don't believe in them. Yeah.
Yes.
As a point of evolution. So I always look at the natal, so transits to natal. And if I feel I need more information on something, then I look at the progressed.
It's not giving you enough.
Right. To see where else it may be interacting. Okay.
And how many planets do you use? Do you use
in progressed? No. The only things I look at in the progressed chart are your houses, how your houses have changed. So, but it's more like your angular houses, which is first house, fourth house, seventh house, and 10th house.
Okay.
Okay. So those are your cardinal houses.
Which
They're called angular.
1, first,
1, 4, 7, 10.
Okay.
Okay. So that's the self. That's your foundation and home environment. Relationships is the 7th. And how you interact with other people, and the 10th house is your career and your status in the world.
Right.
So I will look at how those have changed, okay? And I don't, there's no set formula for me. I do it more intuitively. So if it resonates with me intuitively, or if something jumps out, then I incorporate it. If it's not intuitive, then I just let it go. Okay. The other thing that I look at is your progressed moon, because it'll tell me what cycle you're working through on a 2 to 2.5 year period. So what your day-to-day life will be like. Within that time period. And if it's interacting with anything in your natal chart, or if it's interacting with anything in your progress chart.
Interesting.
So, yes. The sun I may look at if it changes signs. right? Or any other planet. If it's gone from, 29 degrees of one sign into 0 degrees of another,
Right.
then there's obviously some form of completion to new beginning energy that you're working with that planetary vibration.
That is a lot of work. Okay.
So, if the solar eclipse isn't doing anything in your natal houses or chart, and you're still feeling something, then you can look at your progressed.
Right.
But it's harder to find a chart, progressed chart online than it is to get a natal chart online.
Yes. The one that I go to has a progress though, so I've looked at it recently, but
perfect.
I don't completely understand it, so okay, now I'm maybe understanding a little bit more, so I might want to take a boo more.
Yes. In November's not too bad.
Okay, good.
Okay. There's two things happening. Neptune stationing direct on November 16th, 2014 at 4 degrees of Pisces, 47 minutes.
So in its home planet.
And here we are making the divine connection to the self again. So it's like we're allowed to reconnect with our higher consciousness. Okay.
Has Neptune been there for very long? I think it was
Neptune stationed retrograde on June 9th, 2014 at 7 degrees of Pisces. And here it was about opening up to the consciousness of the soul. Degrees. It was a rebirthing energy.
But like what's that, like 2 years it's been in Pisces? It hasn't been
in Pisces.
It's
been in Pisces for a while.
Has it? It's only 7 degrees.
Yeah.
Right.
It moves very slowly.
Not as slow as Pluto, but okay. Gotcha.
If you really want to know, I can look at the next break. The other thing in November is Chiron stationing direct.
Right.
On November 23rd at 13 degrees of Pisces, 5 minutes. And here we will gather the spiritual facts necessary to face any tests that are coming. So Chiron's all about the wounded healer.
Right.
Okay. As it stations direct, to me, it speaks more to healing than it does wounding.
Oh, it's in Pisces too?
Yes. Yes. And Pisces is one of those signs that you just can't figure out. I can't figure out Pisces. My sister's
a Pisces, so it drives me nuts.
They're all kind of different, right?
They are,
so, like, the moment you think you got Pisces figured out, you're wrong.
Yeah. No.
No. And joy, oh bliss, oh me, that's where my north node is. I can never figure out where I'm going.
Is that why?
Yeah. Well, that's one reason why. That's it for November.
Yay! So November's going to be a little relaxed.
Well, it's going to feel like we're finally moving forward, right? Because the end of, even though we're in this opportunity energy right now, October's not going to feel like we're going anywhere, okay, except for letting go, and miscommunication. And then November, there's 2 planetary energies stationing direct that have been retrograde for a very long time. So we have the opportunity to move forward again, right? Cool. As we go into December, Jupiter stations retrograde. So now that's going to be like a little kickback.
Well, it's the same as last year. I think Jupiter went, well, it was in my birthday that it went somewhere. I know that it was still retrograde on my birthday. That's all I know.
Okay.
I don't remember when. It might have been in January, but it was like, like right before. That's what it was. It went on the 23rd, I think. It was either that or Venus. One of them went retrograde like the day before my birthday. It was like, you got to be kidding me.
Venus, I think, was retrograde prior.
Okay. So then it was Jupiter.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Anyway, yeah. I just remember that it was like right before my birthday. It's like, could you not have waited 2 days?
And I know people are like, you should remember these things.
No,
these are astrological important dates. And it's like, yeah, no, it's gone. It's in the past.
Well, it's look at all the stuff you have to do. It's like, are you kidding me? I think you do well.
Thank you. Okay, so what do we have? Jupiter stationing retrograde, December 8th, 2014. So this is right before my birthday.
Right.
At 22 degrees of Leo, 37 minutes.
So clearly it's somebody else's birthday's on the 8th. It's not yours.
No, it's not mine.
Yours is the 12th.
12th.
Nah.
This one is an ego energy again. Okay. Well, Leo is the ego.
Oh,
Leo rules the ego, right? So, and here we're talking about controlling the ego. Okay. Controlling it so that we can channel our desires.
Okay.
Okay. Even though a lot of our ego or a lot of our desires are ego driven.
Right.
Okay. It's about controlling your ego so that you can go beneath the ego or deeper than the ego into your sense of spirit. okay, which is also something that resonates at a heart level, just like Leo does and the ego does, okay? So going deeper and learning how to expand your consciousness, okay? So a lot of people know how to expand their consciousness, or they're working through consciousness expansion, but this is about looking at it as if you're a young child and you've never done it before, okay? So it's about learning new ways of opening up your consciousness and expanding your consciousness and not allowing your ego to interfere with what you're receiving. Okay. So I don't really see this retrograde as a bad thing. I see it as a way to relearn something. Okay. So, but in order to embrace a new learning, you need to unlearn it.
Right.
So it will station direct on April 8th, 2015 at 12 degrees of Leo.
Okay.
So I think it's all good.
So December, is that all?
No, there's more December.
Oh, great. I don't like that you said it that
you
way.
Didn't see my expression on that one, did you?
No, not at all.
Happy.
I didn't catch that. So subtle. So subtle. I'm just waiting for what January. I'm waiting for January, damn it.
January's good. We'll get there.
Oh, it's good. Okay.
All right.
You scared me.
Oh, okay. I need
just
a drink.
stop it. Teasing us. You're just teasing us.
You know what? It's all good.
All right.
It's all good. It's all about evolution.
Guess we're going to have you back, though, in January.
Probably. Okay, so Uranus square Pluto on December 15th. We have been working with Uranus square Pluto since 2012. So the first hit was June 24th, 2012. There was a hit September 19th,
This is our last one, isn't it?
No, second last.
Oh, I thought it was our last.
May 20th, 2013, November 11th, 2013, April 21st, 2014. And then the last one's March 16th, 2015.
That's right. So when is it? November what? 11th?
December 15th.
December 15th.
Yes, a couple days after my birthday, which I'm not too pleased about.
Well, at least it's not before. Like right before.
Well, you feel it. You're
still going to feel it.
We're already kind of feeling it.
3 days.
Well, it's been, since 2012 we're in it.
Yeah.
Right?
So,
there's highs and lows. Yes, second last hit.
This isn't one of the worst ones. The worst one, wasn't it last year that we had the worst one? It was a bad placement or...
Yeah, there was some bad ones earlier.
It was with the grand square.
Well, there was one in April and
oh yeah,
I totally bypassed it.
Really?
Well, I don't remember anything significant happening in April.
Really?
Mind you, I lost my voice in May for 6 weeks.
You don't remember anything happening in April? That's when everybody went crazy. We had eclipses. We had that. It was crazy month.
Well, I was kind of like...
I was busy, but it was a crazy month.
Yeah, no, but for me, because I've been going through huge transition and change, and I let go of all my craziness, I was just surrendered in a place of peacefulness.
Yeah, whatever. Good for you. All right, then.
In my little house, all by myself, by the lake.
Not all by yourself, but okay.
Pretty close.
Really? Okay. Okay.
I temporarily removed myself from society.
So December, where is it?
Right, December 15th.
Where?
What do you mean where?
Oh, I know, but...
It's universal. It's everywhere.
What house? No, it's not. You're not going to know
what
the house.
signs? Uranus is in Aries, Pluto's in Capricorn.
So Uranus has been in Aries for a while.
Yep,
Pluto's been in Capricorn for a while. So, right.
Apparently I forgot to write down the degree, but... Yep. Basically, this particular one is about transcendence, and it is the spiritual seeker's quest. So whatever quest you're on a spiritual level, you will see where you need to change. Change is inevitable. It happens everywhere.
Right.
And it's really about developing a healthier sense of self and a healthier sense of society.
Okay. But that doesn't sound so bad.
No, and I'm not getting that this one is a bad one, right? It's just, it's been going on for so long, right?
Well, that's the other thing.
I would like it to be done.
April had that grand, or the grand square.
Yes.
So it was like everything was like, it was a brutal month. Whatever, glad you had a nice one.
No,
right, can we change pages? Oh no, we got the solstice.
You just want to keep going. Let's go.
Yeah,
let's go.
exactly.
Winter solstice, December 21st.
Oh, you avoided it, is that what you said? You avoided
I
it?
avoided it. I went into hiding.
Oh, well, that's why it was okay. Oh, silly
Yeah,
me.
I totally removed myself from society completely, right? Winter solstice, December 21st, 2014 at 6:03 p.m. when the sun goes to 0 degrees of Capricorn.
Right.
Here we are, typically, it's a rest period. Okay, we enter into the winter. The winter's all about being in a restful state. It's a dormant energy. It's withdrawal. Okay, that continues to happen. But as we're in that point of rest and in that point of withdrawal, we're also supposed to be doing a lot of self-observation, looking at the self, looking at our behaviors, being more conscious about our interactions with others during that time period as well. And it's kind of like you want to have a second set of eyes watching you all the time. And the purpose of that is so that you can observe who you are in that state of rest, so that when the spring comes, a new you can be born. Okay? But you need to observe it before you can change it. Also, on December 21st is the new moon in Capricorn. It's not an eclipse, but I thought I should mention it because it's on the exact same day. It's at 0 degrees of Capricorn, 6 minutes. Wow. So again, new beginning energy. It's all about responsibility, authority, and leadership. And that's one of the reasons why we have to watch our behaviors.
Was it the solar that had a 0 degree?
Yes.
Okay. So these are
well, that's just a normal new moon.
Oh, so it's not always a 0?
No,
it's not always at a
0.
No,
but I mean it's not an eclipse.
No, I know.
Okay.
But new moons are powerful.
Oh yeah,
because they're
all about new beginnings and planting
a new beginning
seeds.
in a new beginning, and like the beginning of a new sign. That's
right.
That's
and the other thing that happens that day is Uranus stations direct.
Oh.
It's just before the winter solstice, so it's at 5:44 p.m. And I think the winter solstice is at 6:03. So it's
not
nice.
much before.
No.
that's like an eggshell before.
Yes. It went retrograde on July 21st, 2014, and it was an energy that was pulling us away from divine connection. So it was another one, like there was two things that happened. I can't remember what the other one was. We talked about it already, where we got pulled away from our divine connection earlier in the summer. Okay, this was one of them. However, it was also about the power of love and organic fulfillment. So finding that power of love as we disconnect from our divine consciousness, right? So finding love on a mundane level versus on a soul level, right? In our personal life versus our spiritual life.
And that's what's happening.
Well, now that it's moving direct.
Okay.
We need to recognize what our ego has created during this very high ego-based year. Okay, so that we can once again connect to the power of our heart center and then move to a place of higher consciousness with this new learning. Okay, so there was a lot of learning that transpired this year in terms of on a spiritual level, but a lot of the spiritual stuff was unconscious and the ego kind of kicked in, and we were focusing more on the consciousness of the ego versus the consciousness of the soul.
I think it's time for a break.
Okay.
You are listening to News for the Heart with Nancy Arruda from universalsky.com. Check her out, and we are getting to the heart of what matters on what's happening in the universal sky. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Laurie Huston, and I have a great show on bmajor.org called News for the Heart. I'm an intuitive counselor, coach, and teacher with professional qualifications and certifications, as well as natural clairsentient and claircognizant abilities. I've been on my spiritual path for over 20 years, and during that time have acquired through extensive studies, teachings, and sacred texts over 30 different healing modalities, which are continuously being added to, as life is an ongoing journey. My passion is on relationships, limiting beliefs, energy that is blocking you, and awakening consciousness as we become more heart-centered. You can find out more about me at my website, intuitivesoul.com, or call me at my toll-free number, 1-855-444-SOUL. That's 1-855-444-7685. And I'd be honored to connect with you. Let's get to the heart of what matters. Do you want to become more empowered, connected with your core, Guided by your heart and soul's purpose? Be more balanced and have more mindfulness? Are you searching for the answers? Wanting to understand your relationships better? Why your intimate relationships, friends, family, and even work colleagues can impact your quality of life? How your relationships interfere with your business, career opportunities, and even starting your own business? I'm Laurie Huston. I have a free weekly advice column with bmajor.org called Heart Lessons. Our hearts have the power to free us from pain and the struggle that keep us from awakening to our true essence. You can send me your questions, or for more personal guidance, contact me at intuitivesoul.com or call me at my toll-free number 1-855-444-SOUL. That's 1-855-444-7685. And let's get to the heart of what matters to see your heart lessons.
Want to know where you can hear Laurie Huston's News for the Heart? Well, that's easy. You can tune in to Laurie via Clear Channel's iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Blog Talk Radio, iTunes, and at bmajor.org. Now, back to Laurie Huston and News from the Heart.
And welcome back. This is News for the Heart. I have Nancy Arruda. It's always so nice having Nancy here. It's been a really long time. So by what we looked at the break, it looks like we're going to have her come back for January to go over what actually is going to be happening in January, and maybe giving us an overview of, 2015. That's
Yes.
what it is, right? 2015. I almost said
Can you believe that?
2016.
I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around it.
It's like, where I remember 1999. Like, I remember, as we moved, like that New Year's Day, like the New Year's Eve of 1999. It was so powerful. I mean, like, 15 years has almost gone by. Like, that's crazy. Okay, so
another big thing that's happening in December, which we're already picking up on the vibe, and I'll make some points of reference. On December 23rd, 2014, Saturn moves out of the sign of Scorpio and into the sign of Sagittarius at 11:33 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The time really popped out at me. Okay, we have double mastery, an 11 and a 33.
So even though it's still in the same house for me, it's still a different vibration because it's a different planet.
Sign.
Yeah.
Sign. Yes.
Sign.
So it's taking on a new costume. It's dropping the Scorpio costume and jumping into the Sag costume.
Right.
And Sagittarius does not like restriction, because they're all about, like, their ruling planet is Jupiter, which is all about growth and expansion.
Right.
Right. And Saturn is saying, well, now we're going to limit that growth and expansion. We're going to contract it on some level.
And because it's also about truth, it means that Saturn's going to be pulling up the truth, like really.
It could be pulling up the truths, or it could get you to define your own truth. Okay, so you may be looking at truths in a different way.
Okay.
A lot of people, this is all about your spiritual foundation. Okay, Sagittarius being spiritual, Capricorn being Saturn being foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're looking at spirituality in a new way. We're looking at religion in a new way. We're looking at potential religious chaos in a new way.
Well, that'd be interesting.
Well, you know what? And I saw a post on Facebook this morning around something that's going on in Florida, how they started teaching, Christian fundamentalists started teaching Christian movements in this public school system.
Oh.
So it opened up a lawsuit.
Oh.
So that other religions, because if the Christian fundamentalists can do it, all religions can do it.
Yeah.
And now Satanic
lovely
has created a workbook for children that will now be delivered in the schools in Orange County in Florida.
Oh, that's awesome.
As well as there was a place where because there was some, religious monuments in one place in the United States, now there's going to be a statue of Satan as well.
Is that considered a religion?
It is. Satanism is a religion. Not that I agree with it. I don't agree with it necessarily.
I didn't realize it was a religion.
It is. It has.
I know it's a movement or a cult, but I didn't.
It has been deemed a religion.
Really?
Yes.
That's
so.
Scary.
These are the type
in Florida. It's been deemed like. Who would
Orange County, Florida.
Who would deem that a religion? Okay, seriously.
Yes, and created a workbook for students, and which now will be a part of the curriculum.
And that's why we've removed religion from our curriculum, because it used to be.
Well, in Canada, not all places have removed religion. We still have religious school boards.
Oh,
right? Which,
but they're not the way they used to be. Like once the Catholic school board became public, they were not allowed to do quite as much religious
religion is still mandatory.
in
Every
Catholic?
grade in Catholic school, yes.
Sure.
Yep, grade 9 to 12. Mandatory credit, yes. You cannot graduate from a Catholic high school without religion credits.
Really?
Yep.
I did not know that.
So it just changes some of your electives,
Yeah.
right? So this is what we're entering into with Saturn moving into Sagittarius. It should be very interesting.
It's
there
kind
will
of
be
scary, but
there
should
will be changes in
interesting.
higher education as well. So we can look at our colleges and universities changing.
Oh,
Okay. How they change, I have no idea.
right.
Right?
Right.
But there will be changes. For people who do walk the spiritual path, or whatever path it is that you choose to walk, it is about walking your talk. There is no more talking unless you're walking it.
I can see where that's going to hit a few people.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully it's not me.
Yeah, so we can look forward to religious scandals, political scandals in terms of politicians abusing the law.
Right.
Right, because it does rule law.
Right.
And Saturn being the political component, Sagittarius being the truth or justice in the law, right?
Is that where the Justice card comes from, Saturn? Or from Sagittarius?
No.
Oh, okay.
Justice is Libra in terms
that's right.
of balance.
I knew that.
Right? In terms of balance.
Yeah.
But law is ruled by Sagittarius and Jupiter.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
It's
the truth
part
component.
of that. Interesting.
So, and on a not so good note, the last couple times Saturn was in Sag, we had some stock market crashes.
The financial markets.
Yes.
Well, they have to change, right?
It's about restricting the bigness.
And when was the last time we had them?
1988. Okay, and that's where we went from, I don't know if you remember the 80s, how it was just like, it was the booming 80s.
Yeah.
Everything was booming. House prices were skyrocketing. Mortgage rates were, interest rates, I think, were low. Were they low? Typically, they were high. Okay, they were high, but even though
they were really high,
yeah,
like ridiculously high.
Right. So whenever our economy gets out of hand, it balances itself out.
Right.
And that typically happens when Saturn is in the late degrees of Sagittarius. So the big crash in 1929, I believe, was also the big stock market crash in the 20s was also when Saturn was in Sag.
Really?
Yeah, towards the late degree.
Is that how often does it move in?
Well, Saturn changes signs every 2 to 2.5 years.
Right.
So it would be 28 years before it'll come back into Sag again. 28 plus the 2.5. Right? But it's in there.
Interesting.
So.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So expect some
changes.
Well, that's what Saturn always does. Saturn is the task maker. It always brings.
Right. And Saturn's got a really bad reputation.
It does. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad sign.
No, it's not a bad thing. Saturn represents what we want in life in our natal chart.
Oh, really?
Yes. And it helps you get it through the restriction of energy. Okay? So in order to sustain something in life and hold on to it, we need to actually restrict the energy around that thing.
Oh, it's in my 8th house.
You're looking at your chart.
You know I am.
What are you looking at?
I knew it was still in Aquarius. I was like, yeah, wait a minute, it's in Aquarius. But it's in my 8th house. What'd you say? It's about what?
In order to receive something, okay, it's easy to receive something. So when we work with the law of attraction, for example, and we set our intentions out and we want something, okay, it's very easy for us to grab it. All we have to do is change our vibration to match the vibration of that which we desire. Okay? And you can have it. It's easy. Now you have to hold on to it. Okay? Holding on to it is a completely different vibration than attracting it. Okay? And it's through, so once you attract it, if you restrict the energy around it, then you can sustain it. So Saturn gives us the ability to put the energy into working towards something, And the more that we work towards it, and key word here is work,
Right.
okay, which means give it an equal amount of energy, okay, we can then hold on to that energy through a restrictive vibration, okay. We look at Saturn as the bad guy because he's also the karmic teacher. So whatever it is we refuse to learn, he will teach us. Okay, and that's why he has a bad rap, right? Or because whatever it is that we desire, he's making us work for it. We don't want to work for it. Our ego doesn't want to work for it, right? Our soul does.
Okay.
And that's a way of looking at it. So Saturn will station retrograde March 14th, 2015. It will retrograde back into Scorpio on June 14th, 2015. Stations direct August 2nd, 2015, and then re-enters Sagittarius September 17th, 2015, and remains there until December 19th, 2017.
Oh, that's why.
So we're just getting our feet wet. Okay.
Until when?
Until it retrogrades
June?
out on June 14th.
That's a long feet. That's a long wedding of feet. A long wedding of feet.
Are we wetting our feet or burning our feet? Because this is a fire sign, man.
And then it'll go back into
Scorpio for the summer.
Right.
And then back into Sagittarius September 17th, 2015.
But in 2017, did you say it was almost December?
Yeah.
December. So there won't be until 2018 that it'll go back into Sag for a little while.
December 19th.
But
no, it won't go back into Sag at all.
Oh, it won't?
No, once it goes into Capricorn, it stays in Capricorn.
Oh. So the retrograde doesn't force it back?
No.
Oh, that's
because the next retrograde will happen in 2018.
Right.
But it retrogrades back to 2 degrees of Capricorn. So it doesn't come back into Sag. It'll get stations direct at 2 degrees of Capricorn.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I'll see you knew that.
Because I looked at it, I needed to know if it was going back in.
Oh, right. Huh.
So, yeah, it should. Oh, another good thing about this is they're saying that air and water-powered cars should be perfected. Okay.
Oh.
So 2015 marks the year that the first air flying car is supposed to be given out.
Okay.
So flying cars are coming out next year.
Really?
Yeah, like cars that turn into airplanes.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
That's kind of scary.
I guess.
Things falling out of the sky.
It's what we've been That's what we've been dreaming about
it's
for
like the Jetsons becoming a reality. We already have the robotic vacuums.
Right. So it's like finally bringing something into reality that we've been dreaming about for a long time.
It is, but they cost millions of dollars.
Oh, well, eventually
I think
it will get a little bit better.
Possibly, yes.
Maybe not in our lifetime,
$1 million right now to own one. But you can get it worked a lot quicker. Right?
Probably.
You live north of the city.
I don't know where you would park, but yeah.
I don't know where you'd land.
Well, hopefully it would be more like a helicopter versus a plane.
I have no idea.
That's my guess. That's my guess.
All right.
Huh. So I'm not exactly sure what time we went here. I thought I knew, and I have no idea.
When we started?
Oh, I know when we started. I just don't know when we went from our last break, how long it's been.
Oh, I have no idea either.
Yeah, no, you weren't supposed to know. I was supposed to know. I'm going to suggest that it's probably, if you want to give like a little bit for January.
Okay.
Just
so
like
January,
a very
February.
rundown of
Quick January, February. There's not a lot happening except for the Mercury that's stationing retrograde on January 21st, 2015 at 17 degrees of Aquarius, 5 minutes. And then it stations direct February 11th, 2015 at 1 degrees of Aquarius, 18 minutes. And this particular retrograde, and this is where, not just because of the Sabian symbols, but also my intuition is kind of like, the Sabian symbol for the retrograde is about our outer security being breached. Okay? So secrets are being revealed.
Right.
Okay? The Sabian symbol speaking to the development of inner security as it stations direct. So there's this vulnerability that's happening in terms of security. Now, if we look at Mercury as being communication, and the tools that it rules as communication would be our smartphones, our computers,
Right.
okay, and
So
how
have them all backed up.
Well, yes, I would back them up for sure. The
Before
thing
January.
is, secrets or motives are being revealed or publicly unmasked. So if we look at how we're using these pieces of equipment, and we're putting a lot of faith into what an organization says their security policy is. Okay, so for example, look at all the stuff you put on Facebook.
Right.
Right? Now, yeah, you put security measures on there saying that the public can't view this image or the public can't do that. But what if those security measures somehow disappeared
Right.
temporarily based on a virus or based on somebody hacking the system?
Right.
Okay, so now all that information, your birthday, where you live, who your friends are, what your routine is now going to be publicly exposed, right? You take the new Facebook app, for example, the Messenger app on your phone. If you want to be able to text people through Facebook, they want access to your whole phone, your camera, your contacts, all of that stuff.
I've heard that.
Have you looked at any of the other apps that you have on your phone? Because they all ask you the same questions. It's just people haven't, accept, but you don't read the fine print.
Right.
And with a lot of them, like I've installed applications, and the moment they say they want control of my contacts, I'm like, no, deny.
Right.
Right? So I have maybe 3 apps on my phone, and it's because I need them, right?
I think we're going to have to wrap. And
Right.
We're going to
So
have people.
this is where outer security will put us in a point of vulnerability. So the only thing we have left is our inner security, and we have to build upon our inner security versus our outer.
Sounds fascinating. Well, it's January, right before my birthday. Awesome. Okay, so thanks, Nancy.
You're welcome.
You have been listening to News for the Heart with Nancy Arruda and Laurie Huston. If you want more information about Nancy, go to her website, universalsky.com. We've been getting to the heart of matters with regards to the universal sky. Hopefully we'll have Nancy back in January.
Thank you.
Laurie Huston's News for the Heart is dedicated to helping you give a voice to your own soul. Our hearts have the power to free us from pain and the struggles that keep us from awakening to our true essence. Join Laurie now as we delve into our heart and soul to find the path that will open us to the possibilities and lead us to the life we love to live.